Hey everyone, welcome to the Not So Legal Show. It's my cheerleader reunion. I'm going to be showing you some footage that you will not want to miss because it was super embarrassing. I'm also going to be talking about some cheerleader lawsuits, so stay tuned for the Not So Legal Show. Hey everyone, welcome to the Not So Legal Show. My cheerleader reunion, as you know, was last weekend, or maybe you didn't know that and you forgot, but I did talk about it in one of my videos. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do and I'm gonna talk about it. So my sister, of course, wanted me to wear my uniform to this thing. Y'all decided not to wear uniforms because that would have been really bizarre and weird. However, I wanted to show you something just in case you think that she was making it up that I had a uniform. This was a sweater. As you can see, it has my name on it. And this was what she was wanting me to wear. And clearly we all declined doing that. But anyway, I've got to cue some footage here because I think you will probably find this quite entertaining to see. Good to, you know, give back to your high school and be supportive, but it certainly was an interesting time. Of course, after the cheerleader reunion, I had to think, you know, I wonder if there's any legal cases about cheerleaders and how often issues come up in that arena. One interesting case I did find was about a First Amendment issue where a small town in Texas, the cheerleaders is like the population is like 2,100. And what the cheerleaders were doing is they were taking signs that the football players would run through and they were writing religious statements on them. The Freedom from Religion Foundation sent a letter to the school. There was someone that complained about these signs. Now the cheerleaders have filed a lawsuit essentially claiming that by being banned from putting up a religious type of a sign to support their teammates, that essentially their First Amendment rights are being violated. The question is, what basis is the school able to say, you know what, you have to take this sign down? There's a case where the Supreme Court held that student-run prayers at a high school football game were violating the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. Now the school is really relying heavily on this case because they think they're in their right to say that these cheerleaders can't have these types of signs put up at the games. Now, what is the Establishment Clause of the Constitution? Now, I think it's an interesting issue. I mean, you know, if you have a religious school, should they be allowed to make a supportive sign that they feel is supportive? I went to homecoming this weekend. There certainly weren't any signs that said, you know, let Christ strengthen you on your path. I mean, that's what these signs that they want to say, really, they're putting up. And I don't know how comfortable I'd feel with that. How comfortable would you feel? I mean, you know, I think religion can play a role in everyone's life, and I'm not really sure the football field is the place to really sort of exercise that voice. I think you can be positive. I think you can be supportive. I mean, one of the things that the cheerleaders talk about is how they don't want to say, you know, stomp on the Eagles. It's like, okay, I get it, you know, if you don't want to be negative, but I'm not really sure that you have to bring religion into it. Another interesting case I read about was this woman, Sarah Jones. Now, Sarah Jones was a cheerleader for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, in 2009, thedirty.com, which is sort of a crazy gossip site, posted something about her and how she had slept with the whole team and had a bunch of STDs. And then when students started asking her about it, she then sued thedirty.com for defamation and a bunch of whole other things. Then, Ms. Jones was prosecuted for sexual activity with a minor, this kid who was 17 at the time. He's now 18. Now, recently, she pled guilty to this activity. And what's interesting is that she's not getting any jail time, and she also doesn't have to register as a sex offender. Instead, the court decided to give her probation, and she can never teach again. Now, why would that happen in this case? Well, one thing that I think might have sort of helped her situation is that the parents of the child, now the kid is obviously 18 now, would not cooperate with prosecutors. In fact, there was something I read that she told her son to throw out his phone that had sort of the incriminating texts on it. Maybe the parents think that he's almost of age and that this was consensual and they just didn't want to get her in trouble. But I really think that as parents, I mean, you've got to protect your kids. I don't care if they're 17 on the verge of 18, you can't have somebody who's in the position of a teacher engaging in this type of activity. Hopefully Ms. Jones has really learned from her behavior in this situation. I mean, I think the court really let her off easily. I mean, potentially she could have spent 5 years in jail. So the hope is now that, with this other lawsuit she has and with the situation with this minor, that hopefully she'll just move forward in life and make a better start for herself. Last but not least, where would we be with cheerleading without crazy cheerleader moms? Of course, there's always that typical case where the cheerleader mom is bummed that her daughter didn't make it, so she comes up with some discrimination case, and this case actually went to an appeals court. It even got to that point, which is really crazy. And I've got to tell you what the court said, because at least the court acknowledges that there are crazy cheerleader moms. I gotta tell you though, crazy cheerleader moms do definitely make cheerleading interesting. Now it's time for the best hip hop lyric, and this week I'm actually going with a hip hop channel, not just a hip hop artist. My friend LJ runs this channel called The New Content. And what's so great about this site is it's all about indie hip hop. Not just so much the mainstream stuff. I mean, I know I talk a lot about Lil Wayne and Tyga and these guys that, you see in Billboard, but what's cool about this site is that it's a way to really get introduced to new artists and really follow them from the beginning. So one of the guys that I found is this guy, Young Dirt. I've got his link below. Definitely check him out. I think that, there's something's gonna happen with this guy. So put him on your list. That's it for now. Always remember to honor your power and stay tuned for the next video posting. Support for the hip hop community in the indie space. That's it for now. Always remember to honor your power and stay tuned for the next video posting.